We're back with 52 weeks of live coding machine learning operations, and it's an exciting time to be doing things with live coding. On Thursdays, I'm also going to do a little bit more like targeted AI ML because there's just so much stuff. But I'm going to keep doing this also on Tuesdays. I'm going to cover MLOps stuff, and I'm going to dive into Hugging Face for a bit because I have already dived into OpenAI quite a bit. I'm going to kind of go back and forth, but in particular, one of the things I was playing around with was some of the AI art. So let's go ahead and start off with this really quick, and let's get right into it. And I'm going to share my screen here. So one of the things that's pretty cool about Hugging Face is that you can go ahead and look at recent things here, and in general you can see what is the community actually playing around with. And we see this like stable diffusion is kind of a cool one, and I've been playing around with this quite a bit, and it's actually not bad. Like it's a very interesting Hugging Face space to create art. And so what we can do here is just put in some kind of a prompt, and we could do cyberpunk dystopia USA robots or something like this, I don't know, Blade Runner kind of stuff. And you can put all this stuff inside of here, and it'll do its best to kind of figure out some kind of AI generated image. Now, while this is running, I guess one of the things to point out would be like, well, is there a faster way to run this? And this is really something I've been experimenting with a little bit, is that if we just right click here, we go to new tab, we'll let this thing keep running, is that we can see what's happening inside of the application itself. And so notice here that they're using Gradio, which is the UI. They're using PyTorch. They're also using these diffusers here, and they're using Pill for image processing. And you can notice here, there's not a lot of code. Like we can even look through and say, look, if you're running this code locally, you need to use either the Hugging Face CLI login or paste your access token here, right? So that's one issue that people would need to play around with. And it said also when running locally, you don't have to do this. They have like some kind of word list so that people don't make weird stuff. And then as well, depending on, do you have access to CUDA, right? Like NVIDIA GPUs. And then this is just the kind of visualization stuff for the UI itself. And so this is probably one of the things that I think is a good thing to have some familiarity with, is like, how do you go in and build some local environments that might have better performance than this kind of shared community version of things, right? Because right here we see this thing is just kind of cranking, and it's gonna take a while. Now, I forget how this runs here. So if this is on, let's say, about 118. If I switch tabs and I go 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, what happens? It keeps running. So, I think the one thing that's kind of a bummer is that on one hand, this is actually very powerful. I've actually been playing around with this quite a bit, but it does take a while. And it would be nice to figure out, if I wanted to create more AI art, like how could I actually speed this up? Like, what are my options? And again, just kind of looking at this, it looks like it's using CUDA, but I'm kind of curious in terms of if I was going to run this locally, if I could actually speed this up either in GitHub code spaces, or I have a Mac Studio machine, which is supposedly a way to do things very quickly because there's a lot of GPUs on Mac Studio. So I've had some issues though in getting the Gradio to work locally with my Mac M1 or M2, I guess M2. I think, what is a Mac Studio? Let's take a look at this. So Mac Studio, it is like what is it called? It's like an Extreme or something. Tech specs. So M1 Max or Ultra, which one do I have? I think I have this one, M1 Ultra. So in theory, it's got 48 core GPU, which is, you know, pretty beefy. And I'm kind of curious though, how do I use this for Hugging Face? So I haven't totally figured this out yet. That's one of the things that I'm gonna try to play around with. But here we go. Here's our first AI art, and you can see like a pretty cool stuff actually, right? Like, it is able to actually build stuff without actually putting mini prompts inside of this. It gave me some pretty cool AI arts, and if I wanted to, I could even go into this and say, advanced options and play around with more things here. And so this model is licensed with Creative ML Open Rail license. The author claims no rights on the outputs. You're free to use them. Basically use your best judgment to do things with this. So I think one of the things that would be kind of fun to play around with, though, with the Stable Diffusion demo, is can I get it to run anywhere else? Like, can I get it to run on my Mac, which would be pretty cool to figure out. I'm still struggling with that. And then B, can I get it to work with, let's say, GitHub Codespaces, and which one would be faster? Because I don't know yet which one would be faster. So we could start though. With this. We could look at the requirements, and we could see here, like, that doesn't look horrible. Can we get this? Can we get this working? And maybe that's one way to get things working, is to try this out. So let's start with GitHub Codespaces here, and I think we could make like a beefy one here, and we could say repositories. Well, I think I'm going to need to make a new code space. So hold on a second, and let's do this. So I don't want to make one yet. So I want to go here, make a new repo. We're going to call this one Hugging Face. Now, it would be kind of cool to actually figure out if I could preload the right container. Actually, that's an interesting question. So GitHub Codespaces, Hugging Face. Are there any examples? Any examples here for Hugging Face? First party tools, transformers. Yeah, I don't see yet any GitHub Codespaces stuff. So we'll just call this Hugging Face, and I'm going to do Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion. POC, proof of concepts. Like, try to get this app to work inside of Codespaces. I'm not optimistic, like, just based on other things I've tried, but who knows? Hope springs eternal. So let's go through here, do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to creating a new code space. I definitely want a very, very powerful machine here. So I'm going to pick a 16 core machine. Now, I guess I could try in the future as well, like cloud machines with like really powerful GPUs. I'm actually pretty curious to see how easy it would be to take an existing Hugging Face space and then run it on some other machine here. So I am very, very curious about that, actually. And so what could I do? Close all this, make this a little bit bigger. And I could also go to the color theme, fix this. So probably the first thing that might be kind of fun is to do CoPilot. I'm now kind of addicted to it. Let's do that. And the other thing would be to just create a structure. So we'll create a make file. We'll create a requirements file. And then we'll create an app file, right? And the make file, I'll just copy a make file from somewhere. We'll just call like PyTest or something. Go. Let's grab this. I like make files because in theory they make my life easier. Not always, but they can. And let's take a look here. So we got format. I don't think I'm going to format right now because I'm worried that that will do some weird stuff. And I may not even install anything other than like the stuff that I saw inside of this requirement. So I'm gonna just grab this stuff, grab it over here. So we'll put in there. So we got diffusers, transformers. We also need to install Torch. That extra index download PyTorch. Now this is like, what is this? This seems spooky, and I'm worried it won't work. Now, do I need virtual environment? Do I need Conda? Like, all this stuff is tricky. I'm gonna just try to not use virtual environment for a second. See what happens. Let's see. So we're installing. Well, nothing blew up. That's kind of a good sign. And then we didn't install Gradio though. And this could be an issue. And this is, let's install again. Does Gradio blow up? Still skeptical that I'll get things to work, but I could get lucky. Okay, that's promising. And now let's look at our app file. Now the trick here would be to maybe just start with this, like let's just start with like imports, right? Again, can I get anything to work? Which is a really good scenario. Can I get anything to work? So go through here. There you go. We'll say Python app.py. Do my imports work? If they don't work, then I'm in trouble. Now, surprisingly, that seems like it's hanging quite a bit just to import. Aha. So we got one thing that's a problem. No module named datasets. And I believe we need to do pip install HuggingFace. Let's see what we need. So we need this. Okay, transformer. So for CPU only, you can conveniently install in one line. Pip install transformers torch. I wonder if I need torch, but okay, let's try. Install. Pip install invalid. Well, let's not do that then. Oh wait, actually, because it's correct. I just don't need pip install part. Okay, let's do this. Let's install in. What does this do? So it's downloading PyTorch with maybe like a pre-built package for this version of Ubuntu, maybe? Is that what it's doing? I for sure have gotten Gradio to work locally. So I'm kind of, hoping actually that this could work. So uninstalling Torch, and found existing torch, uninstalling it, reinstalling it. I don't know. That's could be good. It could be bad. Now what happens? Still a little bit spooky. There we go. No module named data sets. So I must not be importing something. HuggingFace. Oh, you need to pip install data sets. Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know. So let's do this. Okay, so we're kind of chewing through this. Whoops. Keep going through and installing more and more stuff so that we can recreate what's in the Hugging Spaces space. Now I'm going to run it again. Python app. Ooh, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Okay, I'm getting hopeful. So now the trick is, let's go back here. It says if you're running the code locally, you need to do either Hugging Face CLI login or paste your token in. So what does this mean? What does this mean here? So paste your token into auth token field below. Well, this will be kind of tricky for a live demo. So I see. What I'll do temporarily is I will have to create. I'm gonna have to create an environmental variable that I source. Let's see here. Use auth token true. Use auth token true. Now where's the token? Let's find the token here. Token. So now how does this work? Let's see how this works. What are user access tokens? We have this. How do I manage them? Okay, we got that. Access token is equal to that. Do not leak your token. Everyone will go to, yeah, we don't want to do that. We recommend you create one token per app. Yeah, this is definitely an issue. Use token, access token is equal to blah, 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 blah. So this will be a little bit tricky because what I'll need to do is, I don't know if I have enough time to do this, but basically this may be a multi-part problem, but essentially I would just import OS and I could put a fake token to start with. And so what I would do is just say like, token like this, and I would do os.environ token that, right? And so I would then basically temporarily just export like a token. I mean, I would make a file. I would take touch tilde like secrets or something like this, secrets like that. And then inside of that file, I would put in some stuff. I would say like, okay, exports token equals like 1, 2, 3, like this temporarily. And then I would go into my bash file, and then I would down here, I would source the secrets. So I would say source. So grab keys here, and so this would do source tilde dot secrets. Right. So what's cool about this if I source the bash, or every time I open up a new shell or whatever, like if I said, if I just temporarily, say prints token here, and I just say Python app, this would get at least the mechanism cooking, right? Like this would get me like, there we go. See, look, that's pretty cool, huh? So the topic was that I could swap that out later for the rest of the code, right? Because I think that's a pretty good style, is to put the secret inside of there. So then, I mean, I guess I could just copy this. Let's try. Let's do this. It would take a little bit of time to clean this up a little bit, but let's do this. So we don't want any of that. We already have this. Right? So if we're running this locally, we would say use auth token true, use auth token. But I'm curious about, where do I pass this in, the auth token? It's weird. Like access token. Really? That seems so sloppy. Like it says model, but like it's magic. Like I have to like make a variable called access underscore token. Seems so weird. But okay, I guess that's just weird. Like it should be more explicit here. Like I don't get this, but sure. For now, we'll do that. We would just say, well, you don't want that. So you would make this like this, access like that. You say don't print your token. Print tokens. Like don't do that. That's bad. So in theory that would work. Use when running locally, you don't have to do this. So you would smoke that code. Locally, you can also remove this filter. For filter, do that. So here's our infer. Okay. We're running locally, which we are, then you can remove with AutoCAD. So this with, which I believe would be this thing, we can just get rid of that, right? In theory, then, this might actually work. So I guess let me try to run it. What happens? Okay, you specified auth token true, but a token wasn't found. Well, thanks. Okay, so what I would need to do then is make a new token. So what I will do is share potentially. I would basically need to do this in another terminal, which is, so I would just kind of leave the code the way it is now. Like you can pretend like I'm doing stuff, and then what I would actually do. Let's actually make this. Wait, let's do. That's a little bit better. Yeah, like that. So I'll just leave it there for now, and I'm gonna come back to it. And then in another screen, I would basically get all this stuff, cooking. So I would go to my user access tokens here in a different screen, and then I would leave it right here for now. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new token. This one will just be read. This is for diffuser. There we go. Generate token. I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to go to my GitHub code spaces environment. Grab this stuff. Next. Okay, so I got a token. I need to just find my environment here. We'll leave it there for now. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I can share my environment. So in theory, well, not sure why I didn't find my token because the token does exist. So, um, oh, you know what it could be actually is I need to say bash or sorts again, bash RC. Now run it because it's a new environment. Huh. Specified. So I got close. I got close with what I probably would need to do. So I'll have to play around with this a little bit, but it gives me some hope that I might be able to get this thing working locally, which would be cool. Then I can test out this stable diffusion pipeline and see like, can I just create tons and tons of AI art and all kinds of cool stuff here. So that was a good like experiment here with Hugging Face. So next week, I think I'll just keep doing this. So like even though I'm doing longer Hugging Face ones on Thursday as well, I'm going to keep prototyping as much as I can. There'll be tons of live streams. So if you're around next week, I'll see you then.